Well, here you are, standing in front of me, looking lost, like you needing a friend. Here I am, trying to look cool, you see, hoping that I could find the courage to speak up. And we all need someone who can be the one to lend a hand and let us bend there. And we all need a friend who can understand just where we've been and how we got here. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Songwriter Sessions. I'm your host, Barry Chauvin, and we're here at Digital Sac-a Lait Productions studio in Houma, Louisiana with Pershing Wells. The song I introed with was talking about needing a good friend, and I'm excited today to welcome into the studio a good friend of mine in Pershing's, Mr. Hal Bruni.
Glad to be here, Barry. Thank you for having me today.
It took a long time.
I've been looking forward to being here for a long time.
Because look, these big people in the songwriter world, you got to go through their people, and it takes a while. But
well, it's a good thing there's only me. So. I was glad to finally be here, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I was asking you on the ride here, were you a natural-born Louisiana Cajun man? And so you're going to tell a little bit about that story, because you feel like a natural-born Louisiana Cajun man.
Yeah, well, I was born and raised here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But all my folks came from Florida, following the shrimp business.
Right, shrimp, Louisiana and shrimp.
So my mom's family got here, I guess, in the late 20s, I think. And then my dad, once my mom and dad got married, my dad was from Fernandina Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
And my mom was born in St. Augustine. And my dad, when they got married, they lived in Florida for a year, and then they moved down here to be in the shrimp business with my grandpa.
Right. So you worked at docks.
I sure did, yeah.
All right. Shoveled a lot of shrimp.
I shoveled a lot of shrimp, chipped ice off of freezer floors, and,
So you didn't know it at the time. Like you were paying your dues so you could become a good songwriter.
I guess so.
Because the working man always makes a good songwriter.
Yeah, well, I am from a blue-collar town. So.
Yeah, well, that's that song. I've heard of that song.
That's right. We got that right here.
That's right. So you were telling me you were always a writer.
Yeah, I wasn't a natural-born musician, because
right.
I didn't start playing an instrument really until I bought my first guitar when I was 16, on my 16th birthday, matter of fact. But I always had a desire, and I always wrote songs as long as I can remember. I've tried to write songs.
Right.
And it wasn't until my friend turned me on to country music when I was in high school, my beginning of my sophomore year. My friend Todd Bagwell and I started really hanging out, and he was really into country music and was really into Hank and David Allen Coe and.
Well, I was going to ask you which country artists.
Yeah, that's how I really got into it. When I first heard Hank, it was all over for me.
That's it.
And I first heard country, I was like, this is the kind of stories I've been trying to write my whole life.
Right. That's cool.
And then it went from having a desire and wanting to play an instrument to now I have to get a guitar and now I have to learn how to do it.
Right.
I have to learn how to put some music behind my lyrics.
So speaking of guitar, tell me about that guitar right there. It's got a good sound.
Well, yeah, I love this guitar. Stickers is this guitar.
Yeah.
And we've been together for a few years now, but I was working in Houston at the time, and a friend of mine had just passed away, and I had been carrying around an old Takamine that I was taking back and forth to Africa, and so a friend of mine passed away, and I thought, life is too short to play cheap guitars, or to keep playing cheap guitars.
Actually, that's a song right there, too.
So I was in Guitar Center, and I played one like this one.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that is just it, Felt real good, had a great sound, but I didn't get a chance to pick that one up. I picked up a Telly instead that day. And I bought this one in New Orleans about a year later.
Come on.
Yeah. So I've had this one since about 2012.
Yeah. So you write on that guitar?
I've written a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've.
But that's your gigging guitar.
This is my go-to guitar
Right.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've written a bunch of pieces of stuff. I haven't written anything really complete lately.
Oh yeah.
I've been writing a bunch of different things, but
People ask me how many songs have I written. I'll say, well, complete songs probably about 100. Now, pieces parts, I probably got several thousand.
yeah.
They're just laying around.
I really hate to say that, because I still write all the time.
Me too.
It's just I've been on a really crazy journey the last few years. That's
Right. It's called life.
Yeah, and
Right.
So I've written some songs. A lot of them hadn't made it into the show yet, and I've written a bunch of other things that I'm not sure if it's going to turn into a book or what it is.
Oh,
but
that'd be cool.
It's just things I've learned on the journey the last few years.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's great. The lessons you've learned and you share it through your songs, it resonates with people because they're going through the same struggles.
Yeah.
You were telling me something so cool on the ride here. Talk about you've been playing around on the keyboard and piano and the comparing it to the guitar, and tell the audience what your perspective on that 2D and 3D thing.
Yeah. Well, my grandmother taught piano lessons when I was growing up.
Right.
But I never did really take. She was the type that you really had to learn how to read music and the theory part before you started playing songs.
Right. Right.
And I just really didn't get that starting out. So like I said, it wasn't until later on that I picked the guitar up. And I picked the guitar up because you could learn a few chords and start strumming and start playing music right away.
Right.
So that's why I really stuck with that, I believe. And but my ear really didn't develop, and I really didn't have a thorough understanding of music and how music was put together.
Right.
Even though I knew all my chords and I knew which chords went together and things like that, I didn't really get into how the basic structure of music. I basically skipped a lot of steps, so.
Like a lot of us.
Yeah, like a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Everybody just learns. If you don't have a structured
Right.
Way of going about learning, you pick things up as you go from other
Sure.
people and things like that. And that's kind of how I learned. But a few years ago, I really just got to the point where I started thinking, if I don't really get down and start to learn how, from the beginning, how music is put together, I'm never going to be satisfied with where I am, and I'm never going to really progress as to become a true musician. I was always a band leader and an entertainer and a songwriter, but I never called myself a musician. I never considered myself a musician.
Right.
So I decided to use my time to really sit down and learn the piano and learn the keyboard. Because my grandmother, one thing I did learn from her, she always told me, she said, look, if you learn the piano, you will understand music, and then you'll be able to pick up any instrument because you'll know how music's put together.
And that's what my son did. He learned piano, and then he went to school for music, and he can play anything, any instrument.
So I kind of relate it now to playing piano is kind of like playing in 2D, and playing the guitar is kind of like playing in 3D.
That's so cool.
Because on the piano keyboard, you have one particular note, and that tone is the only place you can find on the keyboard where that note comes out of.
Right.
But on the guitar, you can find that same tone in 2 or 3 different areas and finger it differently.
Yeah.
So you can find different ways of playing it and getting different sounds out of it.
So having a deeper understanding of music and how it all builds on itself, is it helping your songwriting?
I think it's helped my songwriting tremendously.
Okay.
And I really can't wait till I really start getting back into focusing on just writing songs again, which is it's
coming.
I'm in the middle of it right now.
All right, folks, y'all wait, it's coming.
Yeah, but it's just broaden my understanding of all the different genres of music.
Right.
And what makes each of them so distinct, and the different rhythms and the different intervals that are used to create a certain style of music,
Yeah.
And so it's really been the thing that I've wanted to do my whole life, because before I just thought I was limited in the songs I could write. I could hear it in my head the way I wanted it to come out, but I couldn't translate it musically.
Gotcha.
So I think it's really helped that aspect of.
That's cool.
of
That's cool. I can't wait to hear
songs
some
and
of your
songwriting.
newer stuff when it comes out.
Me too.
It will. It will. The song you're gonna play today is called "These Songs,"
That's right. Yeah.
and it's about songwriting.
That's right. I figured we're doing a songwriting show, so I might as well do a song about writing songs.
That's so cool, man. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna get off camera. We're gonna rearrange the mics a little bit, and then
Okay.
you're gonna play that song for everybody.
Okay, great. I'd love to do it.
All right,
Thanks.
great.
I remember when I wrote that song, I just turned 16. 3 chords on my first guitar and a head full of dreams. I sang it for my buddies round a fire down by the lake. It seems like it was just yesterday. These songs, they're just stories that I'm telling. These songs, they're just rhymes and melodies. But I've lived through every line, and they take me back in time every night. I sing you these songs. I remember when I wrote that song, I was about 23. I wrecked my truck, lost my job, and my girl walked out on me. I was alone in Nashville with nothing left. So I picked up my guitar and did what I do best. These songs, they're just stories that I'm telling. These songs, they're just rhymes and melodies. But I've lived through every line, and they take me back in time every night. I sing you these songs, they're just my way of sharing a little about myself and the things that I've been through. And I'm hoping when you listen, you'll begin reminiscing about something or someone special to you. Because that's what a good song can do. I remember when I wrote this song, I was all alone. I was working in a refinery 1,000 miles away from home. Up in Illinois, it was freezing cold. Just 2 weeks before Presley Grace was born. These songs, they're just stories that I'm telling. These songs, they're just rhymes and melodies. Yeah, but these songs are the diary of my life, and I relive them every night and every time. I sing you these songs, they're just stories that I'm sharing. These songs, they're just rhymes with melodies. But I've lived through every line, and they take me back in time every night. I sing you these songs every night when I sing you these songs. Oh, these songs.
And Hal, that's a cool song, man. You could tell a songwriter wrote that song.
Thank you, Barry. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man.
And,
that's a very special song to me.
songwriters ask me what to write about, I tell them write about life, and there's your life in that song.
That song is truly about my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell the audience a little bit more about the theory part of it and how to think about it. You were just saying, what your buddy had told you about the theory.
Yeah, as a beginning musician, or even as a guy that played a long time, a lot of us, and me especially, I was afraid of the theory word.
Sure.
Because
it might stifle you.
Yeah, well,
too formal.
It is. And it is a lot of information to absorb when you're learning music.
Right.
And you're trying to learn about scales, and you get into all that kind of stuff. But when somebody put it to me like this, I heard this from a guy that I follow on YouTube. I can't remember right now exactly who it was. But when he explained it like this, it just all kind of hit me and fell into place that all music theory is knowing what sounds cool.
Yeah.
When you hear something that sounds cool and you can identify it and know what that's called.
Now you know what it's called.
That's music theory. And once you know what something's called and you can identify it, then you see the context of it,
right.
You can know how to use it and put it in
place. Yeah, and you can go grab it and put it into a song.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where can folks find your music?
Well, I'm all over the internet, of course. halbruni.com and on Facebook. Also on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel, of course.
Yeah.
Hal Bruni at YouTube, and Instagram and all that good stuff.
Gotcha.
Every morning you can find me on my Facebook group. I got a Facebook group called
I watch it.
Yeah,
you're drinking
family of Hal Bruni.
You're drinking coffee, man. You need a sponsor from the coffee folks.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Anybody out there?
Yeah.
But I do the little hanging with Hal in the morning.
I love it. It's a cool show.
I try to start everybody off with a song and a smile for the day.
So to find it on YouTube, just type in Hal Bruni.
Sure.
Yeah. We're gonna come up on it.
Yep.
All right. Sounds cool, man.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank the audience for tuning in, and this is session 23. And we're really clicking along, and it's just so much fun to interview folks like Hal, and I'm always learning, and we hope that you're learning as well. So what we're going to do, Hal, we're going to roll the closing credits and get you to play a little bit more of that song. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks, Barry. I appreciate
it. Thank you, buddy.
So good to see you again, man. Thanks.
I remember when I wrote this song, I was all alone. I was working in a refinery 1,000 miles away from home. Up in Illinois, it was freezing cold. Just 2 weeks before Presley Grace was born. These songs, they're just stories that I'm telling. These songs, they're just rhymes and melodies. Yeah, but these songs are the diary of my life, and I relive them every night and every time I sing you these songs. They're just stories that I'm sharing. These songs, they're just rhymes with melodies. But I've lived through every line, and they take me back in time every night. I sing you these songs every night. When I sing you these songs, oh, these songs.